Hello, hi guys, good morning. Today topic is how to add to increment manual or normal using library, like as any library using a Mongo sequence or any other language library. So we will discuss in nestjs. We will using a backend side nestjs, nodejs, and graphql. And GraphQL method is two-way implemented GraphQL. First is schema first, and second is code first. Then we will using a code first. Okay. So manual auto increment I created already video. Okay, how to create it auto increment in Node.js GraphQL type warning. So if you more details, then check the previous video. This video is only overview to manual, mainly focus on using library. Okay, not any writing or any creating a collection using sequencing and like this. Okay, so similar to also this project is firstly showing you output and going to after that the backend code and also the showing the how to implement the auto increment. Okay, so that one is created a sample demo, not a live project. Okay, so check here is range id. Okay, all the feature available in its range id. So I added on 6. Okay, after that I adding on here. Okay, any data adding here. See here range id is 1, but I click on save. Then after that here last value, yeah, last value is 7. Then after I click on save again, auto increment means like as a after that insert time is showing the 8. Okay, I click on here. See, record is created. Yeah, yeah, range id is 8. In case you adding a multiple values at a time, like this, just a second. uh, yeah, similar to, okay, I adding the two values and auto increment max is 8, then automatically 9 or 10 insert. Check now. Yeah, 9 or 10 is auto increment, not any manually inserted, but here range id input type is 1 2. Okay, this is one this here is using a library. So going to backend side, backend is using a nodejs, nestjs, and code first. Okay, also the MongoDBs using a MongoDBs. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. Yeah, yeah. How do we how to implement? Okay, so going to here backend side. Okay, so right now I will show you. Firstly, you need a app model inside. Okay, here is firstly record like using a Mongo's model for root. So you passing in only your database collection URL, but also here record is connection factory. Here connection plugin we are using a Mongo's auto populate. Okay, auto populate this library using for auto increment. So another library is also auto Mongo's sequence. Also that one is best, or also that one is this one is best, your choice. Okay, okay, this one is very important. Then if you any model wise applying auto increment, like I am using on going to reference range. Okay, here going to where is reference range? Yeah, reference range. Okay, here see here is dtt means input data types. Okay, and entity for creating a which entity your collection inside, like as here creating a object type schema or entity, here mentioning the range type. Okay, range type not a id on auto increment assigning, but I client requirement is range id, so a range id on assigning auto increment. So this one, all the schema here is created. Okay, there is documentation is created, schema is also created, and schema factory and create for classes repository. So here is created repository. So go to main live. Main part is models. Okay, here is create a mongoose model for feature asynchronous, not here creating a for feature. Okay, is very important point. So here record for feature asynchronously. So here name is passing, and then after that use factory collection also important, then schema, which schema is defined, which schema here you created like this one. Okay, represent schema, then pass here represent schema, and also the constant auto increment. Okay, and schema plugin here assigning the auto increment. So id means which putting the name on your auto increment field. So I passing the reference name and dash range id, and which field you using auto increment. So I mentioning the range id. Where is range id available on schema? Here range id here available. So after that, start index one one, and every increment the one. Okay, and return the schema like this. Very important your point. And another code is similar, not any modify, but so two changes here required. First is app models, and second is any model inside is very important models file. Okay, then similar to export represent model, not any modify. So I will show you the also database structure. So mostly counter collection is auto created. So here is id is creating the reference range. Okay, reference dash range id, and his sequence is automatic created. So sequence is 10. So here he is mentioning the reference name dash range id. Id means like as here creating id. Counter is very important. If your counter is removed, then auto increments again one starting. Okay, very important. Counter is auto increment. So if you plug in here is app dot model assigning, then automatically counter model is created. Okay, this is using library. So I will before project creating manually. So manually for more description, please check the this title type here and check the this one video, then you getting the manual also. But manually is so many complicated, so I recommend it for you using a library. So one more point, if you're using a record, so going to here, if you need a record, so use a create. Okay, I have an array of data, so don't insert many at a time. Then not working on auto increment. So if you have an array of data, then create a for loop inside. But I using a filter asynchronously. So load asynchronous library provided filter asynchronously. So inside a for loop, insert the one by one record. Then auto increment properly working. Otherwise, auto increment not work properly working. So I hope you understand clearly. So if you any query, then please call me or please contact me. Yeah. Thank you.